Welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to talk about 8 secrets of a great summer sport coat. Many men believe as long as they have a lightweight suit jacket, they're ready for summer. But that's in fact not true. Basically, we have 8 core principles that are important for a summer sport coat. 1. Start with the right weight. Of course, it's important to have a lightweight jacket because lighter fabrics insulate less so you feel cooler. However, if your fabric is too light, you will have lots of wrinkles, it'll look bad, and you have to find the right balance. Overall, about 8 to 9 ounces or 240, 270 grams, it's a good starter weight because it will give you a good drape. If you go lighter than that, you may have issues with wrinkles. 2. Remember, weight is not everything. Weave is even more important. The weave of a jacket is extremely important because if it's tightly woven, it will breathe less, and in order to feel cool, you want to have as much airflow as possible. A great open weave fabric is a so-called fresco fabric because when you stand, you can really feel every little wind and it makes you feel cool. In order to determine if your fabric is open weave or closed, one good way to do it is to actually hold it against a light source like a light bulb and look through it. An open weave fabric is so open that you can almost read a book through it or some text in a magazine, versus a tightly woven fabric is so that you cannot really read anything through it. 3. Opt for texture. Unlike suits, sport coats are meant to be worn in a more casual environment. In some offices, it's okay to wear them, but overall, you want the garment to be relaxed and distinctly different from a suit jacket. Basically, you want to be well dressed without being overdressed, and texture is a really great way to help you achieve that. In order to get texture, you want coarse weaves and yarns that are slightly irregular so you get some knobs. For example, here I'm wearing like a Panama weave jacket, which is a wide weave that creates this waffle structure, and alternatively you can have a linen where one yarn is thicker than the other, so you get something irregular, more three-dimensional than a regular business suit. 4. Go with unlined jackets. The open weave of your fabric is not enough because you have a second layer of fabric inside your jacket, which is the lining. Linings are typically made from viscose, Bamberg, Cupro, or sometimes silk, which are all like silk natural fibers or based on cellulose, which is a natural fiber, and they're very lightweight. However, the weave is so tight that it restricts airflow. So even if you have an open weave fabric, but if you combine it with a lining, you will not get the best benefits of the open weave fabric because the lining acts as a blocker. The main benefit of linings is to protect the outer fabric and to make everything slide and fit well. So generally linings are great, but in summer it's more important that you feel cool. So basically you want an unlined jacket, but there are 2 versions of unlined jackets. One is the completely unlined jacket. That means your jacket literally has no lining whatsoever, not in the sleeves, not in the back, and this is a rare version of the unlined jacket. Usually you only find it with bespoke garments. Italians sometimes like it, or Spaniards or Portuguese, because they live in very warm climates and they really want to maximize that airflow. The disadvantage of the completely unlined jacket is that especially in your sleeves, it sometimes catches your shirt material, and so it doesn't hang well and drape well. The second unlined option is called half-lined or sometimes quarter-lined. What that means is that your sleeves are lined and your shoulders are lined, but your back and oftentimes the inside front is unlined. And that really helps to make you feel cool, but it also lets your sleeves drape easily so it feels comfortable, and basically it's the best of both worlds. 5. Select the sewn inner lining, also known as canvas. One of the most important aspects of jackets and sport coats is the interlining, which is also known as canvas. Basically, when you have a piece of fabric, it's 2-dimensional, flat. In order to keep it in a certain shape, 3-dimensional around your chest, you have to fixate the interlining to the outer fabric and connect them. So you can connect them by sewing them together, or you can connect them by gluing them together. Economically, it's much less expensive to fuse or glue these layers together, but in terms of comfort, it's really bad because it's a fine fabric, it makes you sweat, and the fabric doesn't breathe as well. On the other hand, a sewn canvas really feels more comfortable, it's generally softer, and it allows you to feel more of the air, and it's also known as the breathing garment. Basically, you'll have 3 levels of interlining. You have full canvas, you have half canvas, and you have fusing. Generally, only top quality garments have full canvas because it's the most expensive way to do it. And if you go to a tailor or to a high-end made-to-measure company or ready-to-wear company, that's what you will get. A full canvas suit, jacket, or sport coat. The next step down would be the half canvas jacket. That means that the top part of your sport coat is sewn with a canvas versus the bottom part is glued. The only reason to do that is to save on cost without sacrificing some of the look on the top of the garment where it's more important than at the bottom. Very inexpensive sport coats, and usually the ones that are most uncomfortable, are the ones with fused interlining. For summer, you definitely want to avoid that at all costs because it's a guarantee that you overheat and sweat a lot. That being said, not all canvases are alike. You can have a full sewn interlining canvas that is much stiffer or softer, and ideally for summer jacket you want as little interlining as possible and you want it to be as soft as possible so it's really comfortable and you don't really feel much of it. Traditionally, horsehair blended with wool was used, but for summer sport coats it's better to go with like cotton and wool because horsehair is rather stiff and it's not the ideal interlining or canvas that you want for your summer sport coat. 6. Go with a bold pattern. If you have an open weave fabric, what happens is you can see through one way but also the other way, and you don't want people to see what you're wearing on the inside or if you have a pen in your pocket. So ideally a bold pattern makes sure you look very different from a businessman, but also it helps to make your garment not see-through. For example, this pattern is really great, but you can also try others. Window panes, checks, small thin seersucker stripes, madras pattern, all of these things are great for summer sport coats. What you definitely want to avoid is things like pinstripes or chalk stripes that are typically associated with business suits because sport coats are not just a suit jacket on its own, they're a distinctly different jacket. 7. Embrace strong colors. Now, when you don't want to wear a pattern or you don't have one or it doesn't suit you well, that's okay. You can also go with stronger, typical summer colors. What I mean by that is avoid your typical black, gray, charcoal and blues and navies, and instead go for something like this light blue or a nice green, and that way you really create a different, distinct, unique look. And what's also important is you never want solids, you also want slightly mottled colors. Basically you can be as creative as you want, maybe red or orange or something turquoise. All these colors can work and it depends on how comfortable you are and how strong they are. When in doubt, I recommend go for something that is always a little lighter and interwoven with white yarns, like this one here, because that way it softens the look even if you have a stronger, bolder color. 8. Choose a single-breasted jacket and pay attention to the details. Personally, I love double-breasted jackets. I think they're really great on me, they look really masculine and they're very flattering. However, when it comes to summer sport coats, single-breasted is preferable because it's simply less fabric that is layered up in front of me, so I'm more comfortable when it's hot outside. Also, when it comes to details, you want to make sure that you either have patch pockets on your chest or on your side. And you can also have details like a center pleat in the back or like shooting pleats. You can have angled pockets, maybe a contrasting collar or a little collar tab. You definitely want to make sure that you have certain details that look distinctly different from a business suit. If you just have a regular flat pocket 2-button jacket with a notch lapel that you also wear to your office, you should always try to mix it up when you have a sport coat. As far as accessories go, and summer sport coats, I prefer to wear bow ties when it's hot because it just is a single layer around my neck and it doesn't drape all the way along my body, which can oftentimes insulate and make you feel warmer than you have to be. If you want to wear a tie, I suggest you go with knit ties because they have a very open weave and they let air go through. For good selections of summer knit ties, check out our selection of Fort Belvedere here. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to our channel and I look forward to seeing you next time. Thank you.